We're going to take a look at how the lesson planner has changed. It's an update that was pushed out from Sapphire recently, and so the interface has changed some. The back end has changed some that may or may not affect us a little later on in the year or next year, and they've changed how to copy lessons, and I'm going to cover that in a separate video. We're going to look at what you need to know to get your lesson plans ready for Monday, and realizing that at some point with the new features that they've added here, they've added templates for lesson plans that can be pushed out from the top down, building level or district level. And if that's something that we end up doing, I'll put out another video then about how to map all your old lesson plans to the new template, but we're not going to worry about that for today. So you still get to it on Lesson Planner, or you can still go into it straight through the gradebook. I tended to like to go in through Lesson Planner because then I could work on all my lesson plans together, not just by section. And you'll see that the interface looks different. It might be cleaner or a little more Web 2.0-y, but this is our new interface. I definitely like the colors a little better. You still have a daily view, which gives you what your lesson plans look like for that day. You have the weekly view, which is where I tended to work most of the time, just so I could make sure and see that I had everything in for the week for my required lesson plans. They have a monthly view, which gives it to you kind of in a grid format, which is kind of nice. You'll notice that within the grid you see all the blank ones that you can add in. I know a lot of elementary have added those in and use them. I'll show you, if you're secondary and you don't use those, how to get them out of your view in a moment. And it has a yearly view, which to me was not incredibly useful, but is there. It does show you the time period for which it's covering, and since ours go by gradebook, you know, you're really seeing whatever year you're in. As I said, I'm in a previous year because that's where I have lesson plans that I can use for this tutorial. To me, this wasn't incredibly valuable because when I'm looking at it, all I get to see are the section titles. But I think if, so this doesn't tell me what the lesson was, but I think if when I apply the filter and these come out, maybe I'd see a little more. But as I said, I mainly work in the weekly view. You do have the ability to view and filter, so I would probably uncheck all these extra ones because I didn't use any of those. But again, if you're in elementary and you have some of your specials, or you have lunch in there or some of the other ones, you'll want to keep them there for that. And then you can see all the other ones. So if you're secondary and you have multiple sections, and say for section 1, 2, and 3, I really just use the same lesson plan, but section 4 I differentiate, then I might simply work it that way and leave that one in, so I only see those two with the differentiation. Or you can leave them all in. At the time I probably wouldn't have had my lab showing, and that would have been pretty good. So I'm going to update my view, and it's there. So this just lets you to see what you want. If you are at a point where you're not seeing what you expect to see within your lesson planner, make sure that you view the selection and filters and see that it's there. And it looks like, no, it doesn't, so we won't deal with that. Now when you hover over, you'll notice we used to get the 3 icons that were there. Now you just get an action, and so it's done by each one. So if I click on the action, I have the option to edit my lesson plan, delete my lesson plan, or print my lesson plan, and we're going to go into edit. Here we're pretty much the same. We have the various sections that we have available to us, and you can put in what you need to there. Again, if your building principal has something that they require in their lesson plan that's not here, for example, they may want you to say, how are you assessing in each one, and that's not there. You would simply, in the full description, you would come down here, and then you would put assessment, and then write it in there, and it appears. So even if they don't have the section that you want, it's still there. You see we have a rich text editor. You can bold, you can italicize, you can do all those types of things. Looks like you have that. You have a comment area, and you could attach a file if you wanted to say this is the worksheet or this is the assessment that I'm using for that. then that would be visible. At this particular point, I'm not overly sure what the comments are used for. I don't know if both us and admin have the ability to comment. Getting this out quickly, that's not something that I've been able to investigate. I did find out, just so you know, our standards are still not updated, still not correct. So again, you can put your standards in another block, and then, you know, when they're looking at them, so if I go back to the daily here, my standards are there. Yes, they're listed under the objectives. They don't have the neat colored box that say standards, but we're still working with Sapphire to get those going. Back in the weekly, again, if you have multiple sections and you put it in one, you can drag and copy down and do it. You can drag right to left. All that is still the same. That is a point at which the monthly would be kind of handy, especially if you want to go across days and you want to copy. And so you maybe wanted to copy something from Friday to a Monday. You can do that a little easier here because you can see them all there. And so that's a little bit of a nice addition as well. So that's really what all the changes. It's a little bit more on the aesthetic side here. As I said, I'm going to do a separate video for copying lesson plans. That has changed greatly, but hopefully that will get you going.